is good against evil. And then we're dealing with the complexity of this. I would challenge you, don't do it alone. Find a network, because when you touch and reach out to a woman who's being trafficked or a young girl, and I have well-meaning college students who have done this, they think, okay, I'm going to make a difference. I'm going to go in that area of the city and I'm going to help a girl get out. When you connect with the individual, the system will come back at you. She is connected to a system that is destructive. So you're not just talking to this individual. If you try to engage with her, you are going to find a system that is working against you. Don't go it alone. Collaborate. Not one of us is the answer. Hear me. Not one of us is the answer to survivors' needs and freedom and transformation. It takes all of us working together. Next, learn what laws and government regulations you will have to work with in order to serve victims. Learn and then follow them. You say, Beth, that's elementary. I have been part of this for a while. And sometimes people who have the most faith to do something have a tendency to not even know what the laws are that have to do with social services, trafficking victims, and the things that are there already. Being faith-based is no excuse for ignorance. Come on. Obviously, I feel strongly about this because I am doing what I'm doing for the sake of victims. Men and women created by God in the image of God for good purposes. I am doing this for them, and I need to do it well and right. Can you imagine? I've seen homes started in countries around the world, and this one, with good intentions, but they were not aware of the laws. And what happened is, so they bring children in, and one day the police show up and take all the children out of the home and shut it down. And children that have already experienced incredible trauma are now experiencing one more trauma because we didn't do our homework. I don't want to re-traumatize them. I want to be solid with the law so we are prepared to do it well. Next, number 4, build a strategic plan for restoration that addresses holistic needs of victims, including the spiritual. Some of us are not working in faith-based organizations. We're in secular. Our competency and training may be in providing physical, medical, psychological, legal, trauma counseling, educational, etc., to meet those needs. I would challenge you that there is a spiritual dimension to the injustices of sexual exploitation and trauma. Some of this is very dark. So in your process of building this team and collaboration, don't leave out the spiritual. Many of the women today, teenage girls that we're rescuing in Europe, in Southern Europe, are from places in Africa, and almost all of them have had voodoo curses placed on them by shamans in Africa, with traffickers taking them there first to have a curse put on them, so that if they try to escape, they fear death and the death of their families. I have colleagues in Grenoble, France, that were there trying to help women on the street. And the French police came to them and said, "We need your help. We are not religious, but there are things going on here that we have no idea how to deal with. Would you please help us? Now, that's the kind of collaboration we want to have between law enforcement, all these agencies, and people of faith, because people of faith bring a strength too. So we need to be together. Lastly, number 5, you've got it there. Create a healthy sense of community in the restoration process. Survivors have often lost everything. They are coming out of a community which we don't think of that. It's destructive, it's dysfunctional, it's violent. But in many cases, that's the only community they know. We cannot bring them out of that into nothing. We have to bring them into a positive, healthy, affirming, healing community. Let's build communities. Number 6, I'm going to move on to number 7. You got it? Nope. My time's up. Commit personally and organizationally to treat every person in our care with integrity and dignity. This includes assuring the privacy and protection needed for their healing journey. You say, Beth, that seems like a no-brainer. If my daughter had been brutally raped day after day after day after day after day since she was a little girl, and she was on the healing journey in our home, I would not bring strangers through her bedroom to visit. Do you hear me? To bring teams of men through homes that have little girls that are on the healing journey. I have serious questions. You say, but that's how we raise funds. Wait a minute. I'm not going to sacrifice the dignity and healing of that little girl for the sake of raising funds. I will not do it. My prayer for all of us, we have good intentions, and many of us are equipped and called to this battle. My prayer for us is that we will learn diligently, we will love well, and we will fight this battle with God's help. There is hope for victims. Thank you.